Alright, Hotep people, Hotep brothers and sisters, Hotep gods and goddesses of the earth, Hotep to all gods and goddesses unknown, Hotep and Ashe to all deceased relatives known and unknown, Ashe to all ancestors, you know, those that we lost in the 90s, in the 80s, 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, 30s, 20s, 10s, on into the 1800s, on into way back when, you know, that hellish situation of slavery and things started. When our brothers and sisters or our deceased ancestors came over here forcibly on boats such as the good ship Jesus boat. One of the first boats that you know, it was named that, and that was used to ship quote unquote cargo. A lot of them didn't make it. A lot of them came over here sleeping in their own feces and urine. A lot of them were raped. A lot of them basically ended their own lives so they wouldn't suffer anymore. And then we have those who made it, who got here, became slaves, became Uncle Tom niggas, became failed niggas, house niggas, you know, became amputated, lynched, raped, brainwashed, controlled mentally, physically, spiritually, psychically, or soulfully. And yet the essence of what we are, who we are, how we are, is still and will forever remain us as being this primordial aspect of the human, of the Homo sapien sapien, and then going on down into the colors of the different shades or colors of the human being, from the black to the Hindu to the Asiatic to the whatever, Indo-Europeans and all that, you know. I love everybody. I'm just letting you know that right now. But what I'm telling you right now is that I'm about truth, for one. That's the number one thing. And at the end of the day, truth itself has been released and is a form of mechanism that is still controlled by the mass elite. So you really, really, really have to have a personal relationship with your quote unquote higher self, with your inner reality, with your soul, with who you really are as being, you know, without having all the other shit, you know what I'm saying? That light came from the television. And so I start off with that, and I say Hotep in peace, and I say be yourself, know yourself. That's the best thing to be, is to be yourself, you know. That's it. None of these sports niggas, none of these $1 million NFL commissioners, anybody, you know, making $44 million a year and shit. None of them they've never done nothing for you. They've never stood up for you or any of your causes, you know, but yet you support theirs. You support them. You support everything that they doing, you know. I'm not talking about, you know, the quote, you know, the white man thing. What I'm talking about, the top elite people. They could be whatever. They could be black, Mexican, whoever they are. You know, they could be any color. You know what I'm saying? We know what Tupac said, you know, in this white man's world. We know that, you know. We also know what James Brown said. This is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. And that's what representing the divine mother essence right there. So James Brown knew what he was talking about. That's for sure. Michael Jackson knew what he was talking about too, when he talking about how the dance and the rhythm represented everything that life is about, because that's what evolution is about. It goes in patterns, it goes in rhythms, it resonates with the 7 sounds, which is the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa. The number 8 symbolizes the transitional state of evolution and stage of evolution. And so that's what I'm on. I'm on that, and I represent, you know, those before me, and I come to present that information along with my own, I guess you could say theories, you know what I'm saying, my own truths, you know, and we'll go from there. All right. So just to say, the last lecture I was doing, I was talking about Christmas or Xmas or whatever you want to call it, and I called the talk lecture, whatever you want to call it. I called it "Every Day is Christmas" or Christmas. What do I mean by that? Every day is Christmas, meaning, when you go to sleep and you wake up, you do what is known as breaking the fast. That's why the first meal that you have is called breakfast or break fast, because when you go to sleep, you are fasting, and you're giving the ability for all that stuff that is not being done in the daytime or while you are awake, because your brain and all these other parts of the mechanisms are having their focus on other things. When you get drowsy and go to sleep, then your body has the ability to do everything from heal itself, which it does, cure itself, which it does, has the ability to do all, and I'm talking about the body, all right? The body and its chemical secretions and things, the melatonin, the serotonin, and how it is all the neuromelanin, all right? And we're dealing with the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. So when I say, and the endocrine system and the planets, okay? Now, each planet resonates with a endocrine gland or endocrine gland, okay? And they have their colors, you know what I'm saying? And the colors go like this. This is easy for you to remember. We're talking about chakras, the number 7, and everything, things like this right now. I'm going to be as quick as I can, too. I know I said it all the time, but I'm going to work on it. So, the endocrine, or the colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. There's a book I have. It's called let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay. Right here. Okay. Book I got called the Kundalini. All right, Kundalini and the Chakras by Genevieve Lewis Paulson. This is one of the first books that I ever bought when I started my journey, on my soul journey. When I first awakened, known as Nahast in ancient Kemet. The word Nahast means awakening, okay? And what I came to find out was that my awakening came from some type of people will, the outside world, exoteric mysteries will call it initiation or something. I don't know. But my thing came into some type of awakening of a particular consciousness that it felt like was waiting on me to be myself. You know what I'm saying? I was already this before. I just had to flower into it, and I had to get the right sources to begin my journey. And I'm still on my journey. I'm not perfect. I still slip and slide. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being a perfect material human being, but it is about working on your spirit and your soul, and that trickling down to manifest virtues out of yourself. These virtues are like seeds that are planted from higher intellect, and then they grow within you. So when I was talking about Roy G. Biv, and that represents the logos, okay? We can tie all this in, because what is going on is this. What we can do is say this. The Roy G. Biv is the colors, okay? The red, orange, okay, what I just told you. It is Roy G. Biv. Remember that green is always going to be in the center and represents your heart, or your heart area, because your heart would be towards the left side a little bit, but we just say it's in the center. All right, this is the solar plexus right here. Okay, this is the sacral chakra, and this is the root chakra. All right, this is one of the poses okay, that they do right here. This is the throat chakra, blue, all right. Right here, you can barely see it, is the third eye chakra, okay? Third eye chakra. It's right here. This is where your third eye is. Now, I'm going to show you something here in a second. Dealing with physiology of the Temple of Man, Temple of Edfu in Kemet, all right, in Egypt. Study that, Temple of Edfu, all right? And then at the top, they have the crown chakra as a white orb. You know, you can say that if you want to. That's cool with me. I'm not stressing that. But for me, the third eye is an indigo color, and the crown chakra represents the violet, as in the Roy G. Biv that I was telling you about. You can see it in the rainbow where there's rainbows and everything like that. Just shows Janet Jackson came out with a new album. I didn't even know that, you know. Anyway, she's getting a little old. But anyway, peace to JJ, you know. The Kundalini is an energy that once awakened starts to work through and in and out of these what they call in Sanskrit chakras, you know, which means will, right? And like I say, I've been through this whole book. I've read this whole doggone book, you know what I'm saying? This is for man, woman, or child. They got a section called the 7 body approach to growth. You see? They talk about how you can clean the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, right? I think I must have skipped something. Anyway, it's in chapter 4 of this book, okay? I just wanted to show you the colors. And then there's this orb right here. But what I wanted to point out, physiologically, Temple of Man wise, what you have on your face, and remember what I told you, Heru, or the word Har, means face, all right? Also, Asharu, Hararu. It's at the top of this chart right here, which is Muata Ashby chart, came out of the Tree of Life book, okay? And the deity that's lying on its back, it represents from 1 to 3, or from 1 to duality to multiplicity. Or let me just read it just to get you the true facts of this, okay? Okay. From 1 to 3 to multiplicity, all right? That represents the same deity as Sesha or Shasa in the Hindu religion. Okay? That means the many-faced one. All right? From 1 to 3 to multiplicity, Asha Haru. All right? And the many-faced one. Now, you have a face. Now, on your face, you have, you know, your head, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. You know, so your pineal gland is going to represent what is called the Benu, or the pyramidion, which is the Benu at the top of the pyramid, the missing capstone they call it, the philosopher's stone. All right, it's right up in here, back towards this area, going deep down into the brain, I guess probably in a diagonal fashion, right? So your pineal gland would be around this area, right? I guess where your ear is, and right around there. And remember, you know, study the melanin of the ear. You can study that from the Richard King book, Melanin. I say Richard King, late Richard King. Now, so right here you have in your forehead, Ayot He, Vot He, your 4 worlds, Atziluth, Bria, Atziluth, Yetzirah, Bria, and Isaiah are the 4 worlds in Kabbalah and on the Tree of Life. Okay, so pineal gland, and then your pituitary gland is going to be around this area. So it's going to be in resonation with your eyes, optic thalamus area, right? As well as the pineal gland. It's just that it's kind of forming, you know, something like this, you know. It's kind of, you know, kind of tricky almost. If you look at the king's chamber and the queen's chamber of the pyramid, which is what I'm referring to right now, then you'll notice that. So that's the top. Then when you go down and you think about the secretion, all right, then you have right here the point that's going to meet the pyramid. See, so really what it is, you have the soul, okay, and then you have the trickling down of the Bennu seed, shaped like a triangle, okay, and then you have it's really a meeting point. So this is what you have right here, an inverse triangle right here, a meeting point. It's another one that's up here, as you can see right here, and it's just going down and down, and then it meets here, and you got your eyes here, you got your eye here, you got your bone here, your nose, right? Your nose with the tube. Everything is coming down from the oneness into duality, okay? And then it's from 1 to 3, it's like 1, 2, 3, which is the beginning of the dualistic aspects of reality. You see, the nose, you know what I'm saying, represents Gnosis. Okay, this is the pyramid. This is the chamber. This is the chamber. This is why the breathing techniques in yoga is so magnificent with meditation and everything, and helping your endocrine system, helping your chakra system, your ethereal body, helping you awaken more and more and more every day. Like I said, every day is Christmas, and everything all this stuff is happening up in this area. This represents the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? Or the monad. You know what I mean? And you speak out what is known as ma'at keru, true voice, right? But if you are not resonating, because the voice is coming from here, which is the throat chakra, okay, blue, right? If it's not resonating from the heart chakra, which is the green, right, which derives its essence from the primordial seed that is being born and awakening, and is the gnosis itself, knowledge itself, awakening, becoming the flower, Nefertum, the lotus, right? Nefertum in ancient Kemet. Then those rays from the solar plexus resonating with the sun outside, giving it its life, because it's coming down out of the earth, which is the root chakra, right? Like the whole chakra system is the lotus, right? It's the lotus. And the Nile River, which goes from the south to the north, Upper Egypt to Lower Egypt, down, dumping out into the Red Sea, if I'm not mistaken, and the Mediterranean over on its right. When you're referring to the map, looking at the map, it looks just like a lotus growing up out of the earth, right? Because the ocean is going to be up here. See what I'm saying? So, we're dealing with that. See, it would take me a long time. It would take me longer. Everything I'm saying, to go and get the books to show you. If you want me to do that, I will do that. It's going to take longer. But I'm trying to get to certain points for you right now. If you want me to do that, go to the books and get heavy on it. I can do that. You see what I'm saying? I can do that. I'm just letting you know. It's real. Now, remember the fact that I was showing you Durga in the last video, and how I said her arm. I was talking about her arms. She had 8. Sometimes there's 10. Those resonate also with the 7 chakras, and then the octagon, or the 8th one, represented by the transitional stage. Excuse me. Then it also represents the 10 Sephirah, or the Sefer Yetzirah, which means the 10 spheres, or the sphere of numbers. Okay, and this is dealing with the Kabbalah. So each sphere, you can say, represents the hand of Durga, who rides on a tiger, you know what I mean, which is a beast. You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with the controlling of the lower forces of nature with the higher forces of nature on top. You see what I'm saying? That's like when you got Heru Picard standing on top of the crocodile, which means Sebek, and is another aspect of the divinity of the octagon, or the number 8, right? Which is also related to the planet Saturn. Then we're dealing again with the designation of evolution in time, out of time, in time, out of time, however you want to put it. Okay, I turned to this page 115 of this book, Kundalini and the Chakras, and I did it. I don't even know. It just happened, and it's something that's telling me, okay, give them the sounds, because when I was talking about the face and then the Ma'akeru, true or voice, we're dealing with all of that that intellect and information of the cosmic forces that you can call the Logos operating within you now through the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother is the true essence of all of it. She's using the intellect and the communication from the sun rays and from the cosmic rays of the stars and everything like that to evolve the human body and to evolve the consciousness of the spirit and the soul. Okay? The soul is the seed of the spirit. The spirit represents the Divine Mother and the concubine as well, and it's going to awaken. It's like the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale. You see, it's in all the fairy tales. You know what I mean? The whole situation with the chakras. Now, in one of her hands, already been 21 minutes. In one of her hands, she has what is known as the symbol of the sound known as Om or Om, and they say that the symbol that sound actually represents the sound of the creation of the universe, right? So there you have it. That sound Om or Om is there. All right. Also, we know that the letter M, as in Mem in the Hebrew alphabet, represents a feminine aspect, even shows, or it looks like a hieroglyphic aspect of a pregnant woman. When you look at the Hebrew letter of Mem, represents water. We're dealing with the Divine Mother essence, okay? Now the sounds. And I created a chant one time for these sounds, which helped me remember them. But I haven't done the chant in a while. Maybe I can do it. Lam, Vam, Ram, Ham, Sham, or Yam, Hasham, That's how I had done it. And I had got that from a different source. So in this book, they might have it in a different order. But we'll see. They don't. But they have the throat. They don't, with the throat chakra, they just have Ham instead of Ham. We know that Ham or Ham means black. Kemite, right? Kemet. All right. The root sound is Lam, Lam. So when you meditate and you want to vibrate that root chakra, you can sit. You can do like she doing right here on the front, or you can sit in the posture with the open palms. Put your palms on your knees and straight back. The tongue goes to the top of the palate of the mouth, behind the top of the teeth, and you breathe through your nose. I have no, if you want to breathe through your mouth, you can breathe through your nose. I feel like you breathe out of your mouth and breathe in your nose. That's how I go. You got the hair in your nose to help filter anything that's going in the nose, and then you breathe out. You exhale through the mouth. So, which is the reason that creation exists, because the word, right? The word. See? So, there we go. And without the endocrine system, you wouldn't be able to do nothing. We wouldn't be able to speak. We wouldn't be able to do nothing. So, we wouldn't be able to communicate or nothing. And the endocrine system is all about communicating with with the rest of the body. Its primary gland is the pineal gland, and that is embedded within the brain. So there you have it. On top of the top of the spinal column, right? I think it's the hippocampus. I'm telling you, things are real. So when you say when you do that, you say lam, you do it like lam, and you let it vibrate. You know what I'm saying? And it goes on to vam, ram, or ram, yam, ham, right? And is almost similar. That represents the third eye, which they call the fifth eye in this book, and the crown chakra. Okay, so just something to give you there to help you awaken your chakras, so you can better understand what I'm talking about when I'm doing these videos. Okay, here's a picture right there in the front with the wand, has the chakras there, has the symbols of the alchemical. They have the alchemical symbols, earth, air, fire, water, ether, and all that. I don't actually know what all of them mean. I know, as you can clearly see here, this is where the heart chakra is, and that represents the Star of David. Also represents the King of Solomon, okay, and the Ring of Solomon as well. Okay. Right here we have the moon, which represents the ninth sphere in the Kabbalah tree of life, known as Yesod. Okay, I have a book on the tree of life as well. We can get that's what I'm saying. It takes longer and longer. I just seen 26 to do that and to go to the books and instead of just me telling you the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what y'all want, you just let me know. So that's basically what I was wanting to get at. But what I was going to say real quick about the 7 chakras and all that, and I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave this alone and do some other things today, is that they resonate with the 7 different stages of each aeonic phase of a 26,000 plus year period of the precession of the equinoxes. So each of the chakras, of those 7 chakras, in the 4 quarters of the sphere of the precession of the equinoxes, which lasts 26,000 something years, right? I can give you the exact numbers sooner or later. Okay, I thought I had written it down on this, but I guess I didn't. Represent the see, there's 4 quarters. Within those 4 quarters, there's 7 different degrees of ascension, descension, equilibrium, unequilibrium. Okay, and I drew it. These are my notes, and this is how I had drawn it out. If you can see that, I got all the 7s and everything up there, and there's 4 7s. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 is a number that represents, which is the number 10, deals with the 10 Sephiroth, which the 9th one is the moon, but the 28 represents the the lunar phase of the moon, all right, and the earth together, all right, and how it rotates and revolves around the earth. So 28 days, or 29.5 days to be exact, represents the lunar month. The 30 days comes in, represents the solar month. When you put them together, right? When you put them together, you have the 30 and then 31 days. And they then, in the past times, after the ancients, they done messed it all up because the Greeks and the Romans and everything, they done messed the whole calendar up, and we almost really don't even know what year it is. We just can pertain to the season of it. That's why when the 2012 thing came out and everybody was talking about it and the whole New Age movement and thing, that actually meant the time that we were in. We can say, okay, yeah, it's 2012, but which right now was 2015, December 18th. But really, it represents a season, right? So one of the problems today is that people have forgotten about 2012 and it's come and gone, and they think that they're not in it no more. But all they have to do is look out into the exterior world and see that hell is going on right now, and a lot of heavenly stuff. So we're dealing with transitional phases that's happening in the world, and they all resonate with the solar system. And the solar system with its planets, the 7 main ones, represent the inner workings of your chakras, which the endocrine or endocrine system map out for you. Therefore, when we talk about the endocrine system, we say, okay, hey, what is it? What are the glands? What do they need to sustain the good workings? The alchemical workings, you know? Well, they need fruits and vegetables. They need, the grains and everything like that. We're talking about the physiological shit, the endocrine system. They need the sustenance of the amino acids. They need the essential vitamins and minerals. They need sunlight. They need sleep. They need darkness. They need they need exercise. They need mental exercise. They need physical exercise. They need spiritual exercise. The endocrine systems, believe it or not, they need these things, right? Now, who has the will to do all that, to get the endocrine system on board to bring forth a better reality, because it's going to help the physiology of the body. It's going to help you see better and everything like that, and therefore you're going to become more susceptible to the cosmic rays, which through the planets, the planets become catalysts for the chakra system within the microcosm of you, and basically helps secrete all the chemicals and do all these things. And after it does that, going up and down, right, we get what is known as our life, really, and how we see our life, right? Now, who holds that in their hands? That wand with the wings of health and healing, right? None other than the god Mercury, right? Well, who is the god Mercury? The Greek Roman god Mercury with the wings on his feet, right? Who is he? He is none other than representative of, within the chakra system, he represents the will of the alchemical process of the chakra system, of the endocrine system, and all that. That's why he holds it in his hand. He is Tehuti, the ancient Egyptian god Tehuti. And we know that Tehuti, who represented a moon, he was a moon god. He also represented the planet Mercury and that liquid aspect of Mercury. And we know that we use Mercury today to measure the temperature in Fahrenheit and Celsius calculations. And we know that Mercury relates to thought, as in Hermes. And the word thought is actually T-H-O-T, which is Tehut or Tehuti. So, it seems to be that there is a relation with the good thoughts, that the will of you, as in will I am thy will, is thy Father, that you receive. See, it pertains to you and your karma and your dharma. Dharma is truth in the Hindu, in the Vedanta, and in the Bhagavad Gita systems, right? And that truth and that karma, that dharma and that karma, relates to Ma'at and Ma'at Keru in ancient Kemet, being true of voice, and Ma'at represents divine justice and order. So, what is happening to us We don't even look up to the sky anymore. We don't even look up at the stars, which are really ourselves, right? And our ancestors and such. What has happened to us? Well, you know, I have a book. It's written by the late Gnostic Samuel Anwar, right? And it's called The Endocrinology and Criminology. Okay? That's what this book is called. Shows you the head, which I was just telling y'all about. Okay? Shows y'all the head. This is representative of the Lima Press Publishing. Okay? And on the back of the book, it shows you the spinal column. See? You have to understand what's being shown to you. It shows you on the front the head. On the back, it shows you the spinal column. That's code right there for what we're talking about. And I told you that Tehuti is holding the wand, or what is called the caduceus, in his hand. This symbol is used in all medical facilities for all medical workings. It is a healing symbol. Now, this book is called, and I haven't read the whole book, I've read certain parts of it, but it amazed me. I ordered the book off of Amazon. Endocrinology and Criminology. Now, in the beginning, I was giving thanks to my ancestors, those who have deceased and have paved the way for us to be able to go and to be able to buy books, to be able to be in the same grocery store as the Caucasians. And I thank them every day. Ashe, I say. Hotep, Hetep. Hetep also represented a tablet or table that offerings were placed on for deceased relatives or pharaohs. Okay? So, and the name Ayu-Im-Hetep represented the ever-coming son of peace and bringer of peace. Okay? And his father was Tehuti. Now referring to the people who named themselves Imhotep. There were people who named them like King Djoser. He had a person in him by the name of Imhotep who built the pyramid Saqqara, the first step pyramid that we know of today in history. All right, black man as well. I have a book. It's called Imhotep. I think it's called The Black Physician or something. I don't know, but it was written by Robert Bauval. I have it on my Kindle. So this right here breaks everything down on why he talks about the PsychoBioTypique I. The mind is bottled up within the I. Every conditional reaction of the mind is the outcome of the PsychoBioTypique I. The I am this, I am that I was telling you about. Every perception passes from the senses into the mind. See? That's why he's saying it's bottled up. Because instead of you getting things and things coming out of your senses and you creating the world around you and living it and being joyful in it, you are receiving so much from the exterior world of illusion, and the senses, which is the chariot, is sucking it up, blocking out Krishna, and Arjuna can't ride in his war. He's losing his battle, you see. It's attacking your pineal gland. This is the key. This is why this book is so amazing. Because what the I-ness and the beingness of who you are is resonating up here. Clearly, it's not in your feet, not in your knees and your hands. You see me and you are aware of me through here. You can feel me with your, but your awareness is up in here. Up in your face. Your brain, your mind, this up here. The pinnacle of the temple, we'll say. The I translates all the information that is collected by the mind in accordance with its own prejudices, desires, fears, remembrances, preconceptions, maliciousness of a certain type, fanaticism, hatred, envy, jealousy, passion, etc., etc. The clairvoyant always has a bad secretary from whom he needs to liberate himself. This secretary is the I, the myself, the ego. When he's talking about the clairvoyant, he's talking about the you that is awakening, called the Nahas in ancient Kemet. The helping of this Nahas awakening, which is literally Jesus coming out the tomb, right? Represented by Joseph. Joseph is the tomb. The tomb is the pineal gland. He's coming out as a secretion of melatonin. And it goes down within your central nervous system to help heal you and everything like that. Everything circulates back on up, things like that. We can get into that later. But I'm doing this because it was about your I-ness, your beingness. It's the only thing that is. Only thing that we know of that creation is the... let me continue. So, the clairvoyant always had... the eye of the clairvoyant traps all the supersensible representations that arrive into his mind. Okay? Then he interprets them in accordance with his prejudices, justices. Okay, I think I already... Okay. It deals with what we had read before. The subsequent reactions of the clairvoyant are the outcome of his own psychobiotypic eye. The paranoid clairvoyant is full of pride. He likes to keep himself isolated from the world. He prefers to deal only with very few people. He is a very intelligent person, yet he is sly and distrustful. He tends to believe himself to be infallible. He believes himself to be a great master. He believes that he can dominate the world. He does not accept opinions from anyone, since he believes that only he is truly wise, great, and powerful himself. I say that himself. When this type of paranoid clairvoyant reacts with hatred, malice, distrust, etc., he can even in cold blood plan an intellectual assassination. People worship something that they put outside of them. They create it. It becomes something as a being known as an I, right? He come and speaks back to you and says, I am this, I am that, and you can't do nothing else but get to where you need to get to through me. You receive that through your senses and into your mind, and in your mind you believe every damn thing that the I, who says I am the only self-lord and master of you, and you sit back and you become nothing. But the I, self-lord and master, is for the beingness, which is operating from the will within you that metaphysically holds you in its hands. It is the will. The will is the way to the I amness. If your will falter, the I amness falters. You don't even know who you are, right? So, at the 43-minute mark, and this book, you got to get this book and study it, because what I'm trying to tell you is that we're dealing with the assassination, right? See, because I think I lost the page. Okay, the assassination. When this type of paranoid clairvoyant that is behind this eye, right? And that's why the eye is used in all of the elite symbologies. See what I'm saying? On a dollar bill, CBS, you see what I'm saying? The double cross, as in don't double cross me. Or because the double cross represents twice the times of folded power. All right? So anytime they put a double cross on anything, they put in double power on it. See, the cross also means ashe. It really does. I can break that down to you one day. But anyway. This paranoid clairvoyant reacts with hatred, malice, right? Remember malice as in Clips, the group Clips. Now he calls himself No Malice because he switched his whole shit up. You know what I mean? Now he in the church and everything like that. Distrust, etc. He can even in cold blood plan an intellectual assassination. The intellect is represented in ancient Kemet by Tehuti or Tehuti. Tehuti represents none other than, in your Bible, Ionis or John, right? Okay, he is represents the secretion of the chemicals or the workings within the alchemical process of man that bring forth the healing of the body, that helps you to communicate with your higher intellect, which is known as the anthropomorphic aspect of Tehuti. And this is the precursor to the awakening of the soul, known as the Karest mummy, the royal mummy, the Karest mummy, the king, the Naga, the Inga, the Naga, the Negus in Ethiopia, known as the king. So we tell him with the king, the Inga, right? And there has been a paranoid clairvoyant in this exterior reality out here that we call, which is an illusion, right? Different levels of the illusion, because on one level, the illusion is supposed to be used in a good way. It's Maya, all right? Another aspect of the mother. But it's being corrupted by the paranoid clairvoyant I, known as this ego deity. Must be apparently the demiurge, because once everyone gained the knowledge, which represents the intellect, does it not? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. It began the assassination of the soul by putting it to sleep, right? Sending it to the land of Nod. You know what I'm saying? In that land was placed a mark. No one was to kill you, or Canaan, you know, slaying his brother Abel and everything like that. I'm not going to get into that just yet, but we're dealing with some heavy stuff right there. Cain and Abel and everything. Same thing as Heru and Set. Okay, this paranoid I that I'm telling y'all about is the elite, as in the El-Ite, the ruling god of the earth, is how I put it. Elite. And write that down, because that just popped up in my head. The elite. The El, as we know, El means chief in Hebrew, or the God in Hebrew. The chief of the Elohim, right? El Elo. All right? I, beingness, right? I. El. I, chief. I, chief, right? So, we say I am chief, or I, the chief, or I, chief. Right? I ain't talking about chiefing, smoking trees. I ain't talking about Keef and Neef, or whatever the fuck his name is. Chief and Keef, whatever the fuck. The Chirac Savage. Then we have T, as in T, Ta, Te, Ta. This ancient symbol for earth, right? Also represents the cross, or the crux, okay? So we represented earth. We represented the crux, or the cross. Because all you got to do is take the cross, right? And turn it towards away, and you have the T, or the cross. The X is the cross. The crossing is the X. Nibiru is Jupiter, planet of the crossing, represented by Zeus, or Jesus, right? And the elite has exteriorized that power which was within you in your pineal gland, and in your throat chakra, and locked it up. And they locked it up, and basically created it to be some type of exterior deity that you worship for them to get power. Represented by the eagle on the back of the dollar bill, represented by the eye on the back of the dollar bill. There's 13 everywhere. 13 is a key number for them. It's a key number for you. 13 movable joints in your body, right? Like I say, they lock you up. They lock it up. They lock up your real eye, because what they do is they psychologically fuck you up. They mess with your soul. They sell it. They torture it. They make it suffer. They do whatever. The soul represented by Sophia. All right. Now, So the word elite, right, or El-Ite or El-Ite, is the chief being of the earth as a composite deity that they worship and represent and want you, and they like vampires that suck up all your energy to create all that shit that you worship, whether it be religion, whether it be consumerism, whether it be the law, of the land, whatever. It's about locking you down, putting you in chains, like that song by Jonas, the Jonas brother, Chains. He sung that shit. I ain't gonna lie. You got me in chains for your love. You fall in love with the material world, you get placed in chains. You get your mind locked up and everything like that. So, endocrinology and criminal. What happens if you become a criminal? You either get away with it and you suffer it karmalistically. Karma gives it to you, or you get locked up by the enforcers of law, the policy enforcers, the police, lock you up, put you in jail, and you become a criminal. Well, what happened to you, brother? Why did you fall to such ways to become a criminal? What would that criminal tell you? Put yourself in the criminal's shoes. I've been a criminal before. People have asked me that. Why would you do this? Why? Nobody do nothing for me. I can't do nothing for this. The world is fucked up. I don't know, man. I'm just wrong. I need help. Well, they hit you with the church. They hit you with religion. They hit you with anything to help you do that. And instead of giving you the knowledge and understanding of self-knowledge, which know thyself is the key, right, to life. And they don't give it to you. So what happens? You still become trapped in the criminology phase. So the endocrinology and criminology thing is very key, because black men around in the nation, and let alone around the world, but we'll say, okay, around the world, the black seed has been assassinated. Around the nation, in the nation of America, America, the black seed has been everything from assassinated to brainwashed, slowly assassinated, guinea pigged, monkeys in laboratories have what we have become. Hybrids, we have become hybrids. Another way to lock ourselves in by fucking with our flesh and shit. Our flesh. Our melanin. Everybody's melanated, black, white, no matter what. And within, everyone is extremely melanated. You know what I'm saying? So everyone is black, really. And it is the melanin that actually has all those antioxidant properties and all of that gives melatonin what it is and everything. It's just melatonin is called melatonin because it's melanin. So what happens to the black man? Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote a book on this. Black Men in America, I think it was, he had 2 books that was very key. But you are like an alien, black man, right? This really goes out to everyone, because really everyone is really black. It's the human, and this represents the melanin. Only the reason that you look like what you look like, black man, white man, Asian man, Greek man, Italian man, Australian man, Polynesian man, Polak. The reason you look like what you look like is because of melanin. That is scientific fact. All right? So, that's what we need to understand. Melanin is within the complete, it's in every organ or in every gland of the endocrine system. Right? And they clone your melanin. They have been cloning it with human guinea pigs. People who are saying, go ahead and do what you can do. Just give me $100. Cloning your melanin, trying to figure out how they can survive with the melanin under the sun and in drastic situations and all that, because that's clearly what happened one of the reasons why people look like what we look like today. Many catastrophes, many situations, and melanin had to transform the bodies to survive in those particular areas. Right? And then there's other aspects of that too that I'm not going to get into. So, for the black man, and the reason that they call you black is because of your melanin and your hair and your pupil and your eyes and things, right? Your skin. They attacking you. They attacking your endocrine. See, they ain't gotta attack you walking down the street with a bat spraying fire hoses with German shepherds anymore. They ain't gotta do that anymore. When they was doing that, they was studying the ways that they didn't have to do that anymore. 1909, 1888. I got books they writing about the endocrine system. They writing about the pineal gland. They writing about this substance that they didn't know what they was calling it, but it was melanin, right? They writing about all these healing chemicals, about the true essence of religion. They know about it all, man. It all came from the ancient Kemites or the Egyptians. It all came from the Hindu. It all came from the Aztecs. All came from the Ethiopians. And they've been studying this shit. In the meantime, they had us in slavery. They gave us a little bit of freedom. They told us we couldn't go here and there. We couldn't fly on planes until Martin Luther King started coming out with his thing. And now we are where we are today. They're fucking with our hair, fucking with our skin, fucking with our eyes and our lips and our noses and everything. They don't have to hit us with bats across the head anymore. They can do that by brainwashing us, mentally mind fucking us. Mind control is what it's called. And that's dealing with your neuromelanin. Whole nother level. Right? So, that's where the criminal comes in. You get caught up in a society. Your society is crazy, like Dave Chappelle said. You grow up in it. Your mind, your whole system has become it, and you live it. You become the hood. You become all this, and therefore you become a criminal. You become a terrorist. Every damn thing, all because you have been duped and conditioned throughout your whole life. And it's all dealing with your endocrine system, your central nervous system, your pineal gland, and every damn thing. Dealing with who you are as beingness itself. So, it's been 57 minutes. I was going to get into Noah's Ark and the number 7, but I'm going to do that in another video. I'm going to come back to y'all later on. I got some things I need to do, pay some bills and things like that. Like I said, we locked up, we trapped, they got me in chains. You got to pay your bills, you know what I mean, that you slave for from 9 to 5, right? With that said, this is Rhythm Phoenix. I'm closing up my wings, and I'm drawing back, and I'm saying Ashe, Hotep. Alright? I hope I give y'all something. Again, this book is called Endocrinology and Criminology by Samuel Van or Anwar. Alright? Spell, let me see. You can see that. You can spell it yourself. Right? The subtitle, the whole complete title is called Fundamental Notions of Endocrinology and Criminology, right? The subtitle is Gnosis, Practical Alchemy, Criminal Justice, and Clairvoyance. What a book. All right, we're going to come back more to this if you want to. So, once again, peace. Hotep.